Different words describe different people. But in the eyes of the law, there's one that fits us all. Human right number 7. We're all equal before the law. What are human rights? Find out at youthforhumanrights.org.
I'm Sonya.
Hi, I'm Ebong.
And I'm Kate.
And today we're dishing with you from Penn, which is located at 1001 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest.
And our guest today is Susan Norton, the director of the National Geographic Museum, which has this wonderful exhibit on the terracotta warriors. And you brought one with you today.
I did. A live warrior from Xi'an.
I bet you didn't expect him to
Did you even know it?
Well, I didn't flinch.
I saw that.
I almost got up and choked this guy.
So this is not one of the exhibit pieces, but this is a great way to publicize the museum and the exhibit.
Laugh and
Yes.
smile.
We have our warrior here for a month just to increase excitement and awareness of the exhibit. And we think he's a wonderful ambassador of Xi'an.
Totally.
Now this is an exhibit that, I mean, if you travel across the country or across the world, actually, you may have seen one of these terracotta warriors before. But this is the first time, I believe, so many of them have been brought together in one place. Is that right?
This is the largest number of terracotta figures that the Chinese have ever let come to the U.S.
Well, I saw it. It's incredible. I mean, you think about it. You've seen pictures. Everyone saw them in their history books when they were growing up. But there's just these masses of clay warriors just in pits. I mean,
it's always been a dream of mine to see them in China, but now what a great opportunity for us to see it in Washington. Now, but here's my bone to pick: is I wanted to go there for my birthday, and I went online to get tickets. Couldn't get tickets. Is it because you're sold out already?
We're not sold out, but we've actually already sold 145,000 tickets, which, since we're open till March 31st, that's incredible.
145,000 tickets. Is that why the National Geographic Museum decided to bring this to D.C.? You knew there'd be that much of a demand for it, or are you surprised by this?
We're surprised that in Washington we've sold that many tickets, but we knew the Terracotta Warriors are, as you said, everybody knows about them, probably because they read about them in National Geographic.
Absolutely.
And because we knew that around the world, wherever any have been exhibited, they've just had throngs of people. So we knew that if we brought them to the nation's capital, an international city, you know, following the Beijing Olympics, when everybody's really talking a lot about China, we thought it would be really popular, and it's proven to be more popular than we ever could have imagined.
And you partnered with this restaurant, actually.
Penn is one of our partners, and it's been great because they've got a terracotta menu. They've got the Immortal cocktail, which will make you feel immortal, let me tell you. And they've got a great special menu. They're featuring different spice every week, and so it's just a great way to get people around the city really involved in it and excited about it.
Without the 16-hour flight to China.
There you go.
And $2,000 in airline.
That's true.
For our viewers who aren't familiar with the Terracotta Warriors, can you give us some background as to what they signify and why they're so important?
Yeah. They were commissioned by the emperor who united what we know as modern-day China, and this was a really powerful man, Qin Shi Huangdi. He united the warring states of China. He standardized currency, weights, and measures, built the first highway system in China, commissioned the first section of the Great Wall.
Wow.
And they have found 1,000 of these figures, all of which are different. Their faces are different, their headdresses are different, their clothing is different, but they believe, based on the number of pits, that there's 7,000 of these.
Wow.
And this was 2,200 years ago, so the level of sophistication of these pieces of art now, you know, he had the commission to take him into the afterlife because he wanted the same standard of living that he had on Earth. And so that's why we have warriors, but we also have musicians, an amazing strong man, chariot driver, because he needed everything in his next life that he had in this life.
Oh, so this was supposed to be all of the things in life that he really enjoyed, including his army, because I'm sure he wanted to conquer in the next life too.
Or at least to protect him, because he wasn't very popular after conquering all those warring states.
So I guess it was a little bit like, I mean, we can learn a lot about our modern civilization from seeing this exhibit.
Absolutely.
You think that things like that happened in Egypt, but I guess they happened either at the same time or before.
Yep, absolutely.
Now, the terracotta warriors that you not this one, but the one, although I love a man in uniform, the ones that you have on exhibit, you said all of their faces are different. Is there any sort of archaeological research on who those people were, or if they were just an artist rendering of
well, the speculation
features?
is that they were actually modeled after his warriors and the other people who served him. The curator of the exhibition, Professor Albert Dean, believes that perhaps this emperor, wanting to take all of these people with him into the afterlife, suggested to his soldiers, his officers, that they would be going with him, which means that they would be put into the tomb alive, and that perhaps they came up with another idea, so that he would feel like he was being as protected, but they didn't have to die for it.
And is there anything special about terracotta? Is there just a wealth of that kind of?
It's the kind of clay, it's the kind of clay that they have in Xi'an.
Okay.
So how was the first pit found? How was, I mean, it's underground, right? So how do we know about this, and who made the discovery?
A farmer was digging a well in 1974 and put the shovel in, and instead of going through to dirt, there was a noise.
That sound that you always hear.
They didn't call Miss Utility. They didn't have Miss Utility. And he started digging, and there was part of this figure. And so then they brought in the authorities, and they started digging, and lo and behold, you know, one after the other, until they're now up to 1,000.
Well, that's awesome. And the detail, I mean, I wanted to make sure I touched on that point again, the detail of each individual.
Yeah.
What I found very interesting is that each warrior is unique in terms of the detail of the facial.
And life size.
And life size, too. So, I mean,
although the officers are slightly bigger.
even have mounted horses.
Maybe they were.
So with mounts and with horses as well. And so, I mean, it's phenomenal that the amount of detail over a large scale and to fill that pit. I mean, it's even, it rivals, you know, pyramids and other works of art.
And then they were lost for almost 2,200 years.
Wow.
No one knew about them.
Well, how has it been working
forgot.
with the Chinese government? Has it been difficult, hard?
It's been great.
Really?
They love for the world to know about these great treasures. You know, you know about the Forbidden City, you know about the Great Wall, but they can't travel.
Right.
Whereas there's so many of these figures that they let a few out at a time, and so they've been wonderful to work with.
And will it go to any other cities, or Washington is
We're
the only
the fourth
stop?
and final city in the U.S. It was in
This is
Southern
it, March.
California. Yep. And Atlanta and Houston, but we're it.
Get it together and make sure you
That's right. Do you have I mean, I don't want to give away the exhibit. I want people to go and see it. But do you have a favorite part of the exhibit that you think people should really spend some time on? Is there something that maybe you learned that you think is really a good takeaway?
Well, I love the strong man, because we think of the terracotta warriors, but it's just indicative of the things that the emperor thought he needed for his other life. He needed entertainment. You know, we think, oh, he was this, you know, this warrior, and he didn't have any other use for anything else, but he wanted entertainment. There are musicians there and a strong man. So they were purely for entertainment. So I think it's interesting just to see him as a whole. I mean, and also with all that he did, other than just, you know, unifying China, this was a very busy man and incredibly creative.
Are there any women statues?
Not that they have found.
Really?
What I found really interesting was you have a depiction of the house or mansion that he lived in, and he seemed a bit paranoid to me, because I think he never liked to sleep in the same place twice.
He had a different place to sleep every night, because, you know, when you get to that point, you do have some enemies.
I guess so. Well, we've got to find out let's see if you can be immortal. We got to try this and see if it's good. You want to give it a try?
I want a high five with the
High five from the terracotta warrior.
That's still creepy.
All right, cool.
I'll give it a try. Let's see if it makes me immortal.
Let's see if smoke comes out of your ears. If your skin turns to...
Oh, that is great.
Is it good?
Oh, that's fantastic. You guys missed out. Anyway,
We have the food. We
so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We've learned so much, and if you haven't gone to see the Terracotta Warriors exhibit, please make sure you do. You'll learn so much. You'll even learn so much about civilization that we live in today. And as always, thanks for joining us here on the District Dish.